Pro Wrestling Entertainment Season 2 has been announced, or for shorter word, PWE. Pakistan's first professional wrestling promotion. I have to say, I was pleased, I was impressed that they brought two WWE veterans, Carlito and Convection. I don't watch wrestling anymore because I felt like it got repetitive, and also because I got attracted by new sports such as MMA mostly. Main point, I did hear other great stories about other pro wrestling promotions. Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, Impact. Before that was TNA, now it's called Impact Wrestling. And the second biggest in the world, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And the number one, WWE, that everyone knows and that everyone watches in Pakistan. That's the only thing they watch in Pakistan for combat sports, and not boxing or MMA on TV. But that's just my fact. My main point, there's been a bit of an argument of stuff of like saying pro wrestling's fake and the people saying pro wrestling's real. What I can say is, I don't know why they call it pro wrestling, because it's been called professional. I know in times wrestling was much of a serious combat sport, but now it's just performing in stage combat and just the storytelling within the ring with two competitors. Don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing it, okay? Pro wrestling has really changed the world, and it's still competition right now today of wrestlers who want to take the fame and when they had to face off with someone. There's many being great wrestlers, and Pakistan's greatest favorites like John Cena, The Rock, what else? I don't know because I rarely watch wrestling now. But I hear, even when I lost my interest towards watching wrestling, it still managed to get millions of viewers to keep on watching it. And wrestling is still alive and still crazy like always. In the United Kingdom, in America, in Canada, in Mexico, in Japan, and a few parts in the UAE. Oh, and don't forget India. Yes, India also has pro wrestling, but the organizations are small. Small like that. I think they're still just building up and planning of where it should take off. Because I know the Great Khali and a couple of other Indian WWE veterans are in there, but let's see, they are promoting that and just... No, wrestling is hot and crazy like that, but same as Pakistan, same as India, they love WWE. And it must be crazy everywhere else in South Asia. I don't know how Pakistan's seen it before, but I noticed they've been starting doing pro wrestling classes of this art of stage combat. Well, I'm saying stage combat, well, it's different from pro wrestling combat because they're both staged, or except stage combat could be staged or screen combat, and that's mostly just Hollywood action films or the Chinese, where they do fight choreograph and how it story to tell the climax between opponents fighting each other or the good guy fighting multiple opponents. But when I was trying to watch the PWE, I had one problem that I didn't like. It wasn't properly broadcast. Only the lucky ones who paid for their seats can watch it live. And I was grateful that many of the people that watched it were happy to pull out their cameras and start recording it and upload it on YouTube, so at least you know what's going on. So, thank you everyone. I did watch some of them, but mostly I just wanted to watch one is Basha Palan Khan versus Carlito. And the other one, let's see, Basha Palan Khan and Tiny Iron versus Carlito and the Omen. in tag team match. Let some people complain why Wade Barrett only appeared in Karachi's event as only as the referee and just to monitor the fight between Carlito and Bashir Paulo Khan. I'm thinking they could have done a bit more, but this gives me a good and great encouragement. That shows you pro wrestlers from WWE who are veterans from WWE and probably are wrestling other places around the world or wrestling for other big organizations like Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, and Ring of Honor, etc., etc. I just want to know, will PWE be another place for them? Overall, I know Pakistani currency or South Asian currency is smaller towards euros and yens and dollars. But I think it actually was a still guarantee and still worth it because let's see what most of the wrestlers they got were from Europe. Let's see, and other Europe and a few from America. And the main point, it showed you like that even when these guys are still working to hit in the big places, except like example Tiny Iron. I know he's a veteran in All Stars, which is a European wrestling organization. And he's a big British guy, like, I don't know, he's considered as Britain's biggest biceps, so he is then. I don't never followed him, but I have to say, he put up quite a good show on in the ring in PWE. I got to say that. He's a really, like, a guy of reckoning. Bashir Paulo Khan, yeah, he's awesome, but I want to see more of him. So far, he's shown he can do muscles, and he can do, like, I don't know, flying drop techniques or drop kicks or whatever you call those, and let's see, and he showed he's also a good brawler and all that. But since he's like a medium build, I wanted to know, like, how far will he be willing to keep that belt? How far will the crowd be convinced that he can take on almost everyone that his character can? There was a time when wrestling was more real, but that was a very, 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 very long time ago. I know New Japan is now following the gimmicks and just the big, let's see, climax's store within it and the faces of hero and popularity of who's the real big deal and all that. But they were more serious in pro wrestling. I think real pro wrestling now is very rare to see. On the big screen TV, I say. Anyway. But my main point. Season 2. This time I want it to be broadcast on the internet. Broadcast on YouTube. Live stream. This time, PWE. They didn't even record any of the wrestling fights. They didn't record any of them. You only can find them by people who recorded them. And that was unacceptable. Next time, I want them to, I don't know, try and get a TV contract of a pay-per-view, or 2, live stream it on YouTube, or try and get a contract so people can pay on the internet to watch it. And number 4. I don't know if I said 3 or something. Main point. Number 4. Who are they gonna bring next in pro wrestling? So for what has been announced of who's coming, Rey Mysterio and I always forget this guy's name. Apologies. Like I said, I stopped watching pro wrestling, but then I hear this guy. He is a WWE veteran, and now he's wrestling in Impact Wrestling, which is like the second biggest in the Western world, or the USA, second biggest wrestling promotion in the Western world. Will they? Cause I don't know like that. I remember Chris Masters said he was coming, but then I heard he wasn't. And then who took his place? Carlito, which I was grateful. And when he came over there, all the wrestlers, like, I don't know how much they're getting paid, because I know Pakistani currency, but maybe at least, I don't know, a couple of grand, something, I don't know. Because I know people from America will get paid a bit more than that, but depending on the money, maybe they will get paid an average amount of, depending on who they are. If they're famous, then they deserve a couple of more grand. Because let's see, there's many crazy wrestling promotions out there, like, I don't know, what's the other one's called? House of Hardcore, House of Hardcore, and, but these are smaller promotions. House of Hardcore and GPW, Guerrilla Pro Wrestling. Like, these are small organizations, but then they're super smash hit, because they've shown you it doesn't matter if you're small. If you know how to put on a good show, then you can. People will love that. But who are they gonna get? Are they gonna get wrestlers from NWT or something? Well, that depends on, really, because they wrestlers from WWE or people that used to wrestle for WWE. They had to look at their schedules and contracts that they have somewhere else to perform. And depending on the money income, like, will the money that they're getting from Pakistan will be enough? Will they be happy about it? I know, such as, like I heard Rey Mysterio was coming, but now I think there's a problem. He returned back to WWE. And most stories that I heard about WWE, and the stories about WWE wrestlers leaving WWE due to the overwhelming schedule of how much they had to keep on doing it, and how much time they don't have. Such as them leaving it and then heading to working for Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor. Because I hear they have a bit more free will and a bit more free time. And since I know, if you're more popular in WWE and if you're more bigger in WWE, you get more money. But if there's someone more bigger than you, they're gonna get more money, and you're thinking you're not getting enough because your schedule is the same as theirs, but they're getting more than you, depending on your popularity towards the fans. No, things has happened like that. I seen a few great WWE veterans leaving it. That's because there were bigger people that are more popular than them, and then they had to leave it there. And then, I don't know, they end up filling up and helping another organization, but that's because their schedule will be perfect for them to not being over pushed to their limit to keep wrestling. And those are the organizations that did that for them, were Impact Wrestling, like Ring of Honor, and I heard Lucha Underground. Now, who they should bring, I wonder, who can they bring from WWE veterans? But since the Pakistani fans, they want to see, I don't know about Rey Mysterio if he can come to PWE since he's working back in WWE now. Oh, maybe that Alberto guy, he might actually have a possible chance. He actually is a veteran. He's been in WWE for quite a long time. And now he's working in Impact Wrestling. So I don't know, that depends on his schedule of work time and his opponents. If he wants to defend his title or whatever. Or want to grab a title. But what are the benefits for WWE veterans to come to Pakistan? Since All-Star veterans and WWE veterans, well, just 2 WWE veterans, and Wade Barry only came in Karachi, and that was it, really. But that's fair enough. He came, and thank you, Carlito. Yeah, and he also gave his full reviews towards Pakistan. He said, Pakistan's a hard-working country, and the media over-exaggerates. So he said something like that, and he says the people here are cool, and it's like every other country. Come and see for yourself. You'll be surprised. That's why he said something in his interview. I was trying to remember which media news he said that in, which Pakistani media news. They even brought that ring girl announcer, who was actually a Lucha Underground veteran in ring announcement. Be nice to see her, but let's see, that's all depends on their schedule and if they're happy for the pay. Main point, what are the guarantees? Yes, let's see, if you're bigger and more popular, and if you know you're very popular from Pakistan, because mostly Pakistan, they only watch WWE on TV because that's the only pro wrestling shows they get to watch. So who can they get? And who would come? Because let's see, if they're WWE, that means they're gonna get paid a bit more. But the main point for WWE veterans or All-Star veterans. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. What are the guarantees? Let's see. Because if you're famous, like, okay, they visited 3 cities in Pakistan. Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad. And what do they got? Some like that, because I'm thinking it sound quite promising what they were getting like that. They've been in hotel bedrooms to sleep in, and they've been in, let's see, buffets. You know, those shoddy buffets, but it was a buffet to them. Like, they were having biryani, always forget that nice dessert, like all those kormas, the salins, ras malais, and ice cream and all that. Like the fried aloo puri and all that stuff. No, yeah, Tiny Iron. That guy, he wouldn't stop talking about the sweet lassi. The sweet lassi, yeah, man, yeah, like, boom, yeah. Like, half Pakistani, half Jamaican, half Pakistani. Like, that guy doesn't stop talking about. That's probably his character. He's a big muscle guy who has mostly more muscle in his brain than brain. Like, that guy is just some big friendly chap that fights for his title, fights for his name, fights for fame. That's what he is. I feel I could say this guy can take on Ryback, Kane, I don't know, Goldberg and all that stuff, or Mark Henry and Brock Lesnar and all that. This guy, Bobby Lashley, this guy is the main big guns in Pakistan. This guy is the biggest I ever saw to wrestle in pro wrestling. And I like to see him to have more of an interest. The main point, who could they bring? I'm already hearing some stories right now. People are having problems in WWE. The ones who are super popular. The problem is they're having other competition now, because if they're someone more popular than they are, then their income is going to decrease a bit. Let's start. Who could they bring? Let's see. I don't know if any of you know Scott Steiner. He's been in WWE for a while. I remember in 2003, but then he moved to TNA, and then it's, when it was changed to Impact Wrestling and all that. But no, this guy, he fought in the second biggest pro wrestling organization, second in the Western world. Trying to remember. Okay, I don't know if you know Scott Steiner. This guy, let's see, who did he fought with? Let's see, Samoan Joe, Triple H, Sting, Goldberg, Hulk Hogan. And who else did he wrestled with? Kurt Angle. I know these are the guys he wrestled with in Impact. And he wrestled with Triple H and Batista and Ric Flair in WWE. Who else? Chris Master, but then he's working for Impact. So, I don't know, it depends on if he's interested in the buffets, and somebody's telling me, like, because it's all about business in the end. Because somebody's telling me they offered free hotel bedrooms for the first season of PWE wrestlers for everyone, the WWE veterans and All-Star veterans, free hotel bedrooms and possibly also free buffets. Do you know why I say that? 2, they want them to review the hotels. They want them to say they had a good time. The only payment they want to pay them is to review it and have their just to have their famous names say they stayed there and had a good time there, and they saying like, oh, I wrestled for PWE and I slept in this hotel. Like, oh, I wrestled for PWE. I'm a famous WWE veteran, and I ate a good buffet meal by that restaurant company or by that catering company team, lad, and the food is good. That's the payment they only have to give. It's business, like, cause what you're doing then, you're just promoting. Promotion doesn't cost that much. Promotion is, if you just say, oh, sponsored by that, if you say sponsor, the viewers are noticed, they will come over and go to that place then, cause the famous person or famous organization is sponsored by it. So they were sponsored by hotels and buffets and catering teams. These wrestlers. So it depends on if they want a nice free holiday, and if possibly it was also a free flight. Was it? Well, actually, no. PWE must have paid for those flight tickets. Yeah, must have been. And it must be, I don't know, normal class, not upper class. I don't know. Yeah. Who they can bring? Let's see. Booker T, I rarely see him WWE. I would say the Hardy Brothers, but no, they returned back into WWE. So don't know. I don't know if it's possible, or maybe just one of them could get. Who else they could get? The Dudley Boys. Oh, they're back in WWE. WWE took them, taken them back. Yep, and they're probably happy with the money schedule. I would say Rhino. Rhino's awesome, but no, he's back in WWE, and he was also an Impact and TNA veteran as well. And also, he also wrestled for Ring of Honor. Who else? Goldberg. I'm hearing rumors that he's planning to leave, maybe because he's getting older and he's finding it difficult with the schedule and the routine of just wrestling and all that. And rumors being told he's going to head to Impact. I'm hearing this on Impact fan news and all that, or wrestling news. I'm hearing the same with Big Show. Big Show. Who else? Let's see. Big Show, Booker T, Goldberg, Scott Steiner. I would like to see Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy. Oh, RVD. I heard rumors that he's singing to go to Impact Wrestling because he needs the money since he had a few injuries and WWE's refusing him to come back. Yeah, I want to actually see RVD. Kurt Angle. Yeah, I will definitely want Kurt Angle. Yeah, Kurt Angle. Yeah, that would be a good one. And in this guy, Cage something, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I was thinking to say Chris Jericho, but no, he's wrestling for New Japan. And then also, but maybe he could come, like that. Depends really, like that. It's all about what they offered for him for bargains, and you know. What else? Let's see. Yeah, he's wrestling for New Japan, and I'm hearing he might return back to Impact. No, he never wrestled for Impact. He mostly wrestled for WWE. I would say Edge, but no, he's going off for an acting career, and he's doing mostly TV shows and Hollywood stuff. He's not really big on Hollywood. He's mostly famous in one TV series for now. I don't know what it is. I know he did I heard he's doing a Viking episode in Vikings. What else? Hardcore Holly, yeah, no, that's a good one. I already said the Cage guy. Bobby Lashley, yeah, Bobby Lashley. But anyway, I want Tiny Iron to face against, I don't know, Bobby Lashley or Goldberg or The Big Show. But now, let's talk about smaller wrestling organizations, but the ones in Pakistan, and the only one in Pakistan. The VCL, that can't make its mind up what it wants to be. A kickboxing promotion or MMA promotion? Well, but now it's a pro wrestling promotion. Okay, interesting part. It's a bit more crowded. So people want to see pro wrestling. See fake competitors. Or maybe they're a bit real because, you know what, it's all about the fame. Look, I'm not really a wrestling fan, but then I respect pro wrestling because it did make some very, very interesting characters. And I got sometimes problems with WWE over stereotyping, telling people to wear this weird costume or like something like Muhammad Hassan, that bullshit and all that they did. But if you already know about Muhammad Hassan, originally that guy is actually an American Italian. Now, I'm just going to talk about, different wrestling promotions, but the difference between PWE being a new wrestling organization open in Pakistan. There is now a new wrestling organization and promotion. And VCL, I'm talking about first. I'm sorry for going about that question. VCL is, let's see, it's a place where it's just mostly just, they start off doing pro wrestling classes, but now they're doing pro wrestling shows. And I was impressed with some characters that I liked. But overall, I didn't really watch it that much. Like I said, I'm not really a wrestling fan. I'm a mixed martial art fan. I just love watching martial arts or boxing. But I just want to see, Pakistan's development, see this new course. Remember, if you're watching, I don't know, Japanese pro wrestling, American pro wrestling, English pro wrestling, and all that, you just want to know about all this international stuff. I want to know, what about your country? Does your country have that? How good is your country doing that? That's how you feel. And I noticed, in Pakistan they did brought some very interesting people from Western wrestling shows and all that. Well, just two really, WWE and All Stars Wrestling. Let's see, I'm trying to remember something also. But this one I like to mention. I like it. People been calling him a joke. What's his name is? Barber Hulk Khan. This big, massive guy. He's considered himself as Pakistan's strongest man. And I have to say, in South Asia, there's always this art in Punjabi society or Pathan society of, I don't know, weightlifting a lot. Kushti. Let's see, lifting rocks up. Bodybuilding shows. All that. This is just a very, very old art in South Asia. A very ancient old art. Connected to the Hindu stories of times of man that killed a beast with his bare hands. Or famous Indian or ancient Asian people who were the Hercules of times and all that. Or the Great Gambi. And just, this is an art of great stories. And this is still today on. Must be one of the reasons why people in South Asia love WWE and love watching over-exaggerated Bollywood movies of a man lifting up a car or punching a man so high that he flies up to a building and goes flying through the building. Like, the impossible. The art of muscle. And this guy here, he's shown that. Let's see, he lifts some interesting stuff up. Yes, and people are making jokes about him on the internet. But then he shows some stuff. But one thing, I do know this guy, he is quite a show-off and he does talk a lot. I will have to say this. I say he is one of Pakistan's most strongest men. I don't see him nothing else except doing a lot of weightlifting competition and just showing his stamina. There's not that much to see in stamina. He just shows that he can run faster than an average motorcycle. Which is not bad. But I would like to see this guy. He started doing pro wrestling in VCL, and I actually want to see him PWE. I think there should be more bigger guys in there because WWE, they're big giant muscle dudes like, I don't know, Ryback, and other people like Brock Lesnar and all that, and just countless others. And Impact Wrestling has Bobby Lashley and some other big giant African dude called Moose. And etc, etc. I just want to see a big dude and I'm thinking Tiny Iron is there and great, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the next one because he did said he's planning to come back again. But I want to see him as well. I think I want to see more native Pakistanis competing in it. Besides, I think it's better to save money that way. Just remove a couple of... should not say it's a bit mean, but just remove a couple of people who Pakistan lost interest to watch from the first season, and just get a couple of people who just get a bit of native people like, oh, heroes of their countries to face against, you know. Yeah, go on, yeah, Pakistan, you can do it, yeah, that stuff. And that's all I gotta say. PWE, a brand new wrestling organization, opened in Pakistan. And I want to see 2 new WWE veterans competing in it. And who will be? Any of these guys? We'll just have to find out. And broadcast it! Or upload them on YouTube on the YouTube channel that you should have.
Back up again. Trying to take him down again. And he lands another takedown. 90 seconds remains in the round. Man, he's got the reversal. And he's able to get back up to his feet. Trying to grab the leg, and he does. And he lands a single leg takedown. And they're back to their feet. Joe, look for him to try to set up a takedown here. There it is again. There's some guys that just have a hole in their game for one particular technique. They may look bulletproof up until, you know, you try one thing on them and it just works over and over again. Side control. Nicely done. Oh, there he goes. Full mount. There we go. Gonna head to round 3. Not a lot of action in that round, Joe. Yeah, neither one of them seemed to want to engage. Not much damage done by either fighter. There's a knife.
Here we go. Here's your water. Relax. Big breaths, my friend. Big breaths. Beautiful. You're finding a...
You ready? You ready? Here we go, 3rd round of this championship fight. That was a vicious knee that he just blocked. Left hook connects. Trying to punish the midsection. Looking to shoot. Good side kick to the midsection. Great job getting the takedown. He gets in a full guard here. And great posture. He's able to get back on his feet again. Looking for a takedown. Johnny Bones Jones has one of the most dangerous clinches in MMA. They are really battling for position in the clinch. John looking for the takedown. Good takedown by Jones. Back up to his feet. There he goes. Now he's free. Just over 3 now. Oh, and he goes up top with a kick. Solid shot to the body. Again, he shoots for a takedown. Oh, good hard kick. What a great job blocking that huge knee. More body kicks from John Jones. And Joey scores another takedown. Man, he's been dominant in this facet of the fight, but his opponent continues to get back up. He's got his back now. John Jones's transitions have been excellent. He's done a great job of passing guard tonight. His guard passes are absolutely sensational. They're technical, he gets through them quickly, and he's very unpredictable as far as which path he's going to take. Nice defense as he gets back to over-under. And they separate. Just 1 minute remaining in round 3. Flying knee. Looking to take him down again. Barnett gets the late takedown. 30 seconds. He's got a choke here. He popped out of the guillotine. He's back up to his feet. Goes for a single. Jones gets the takedown. Round 3 is complete. Neither fighter managed to execute much in that round, Joe.
You won it. That took the round. Good job, baby. Took the round. Right there. Beautiful. Hey, you just won this thing. Attaboy.
Let's take a look here. Here's a perfect head kick.
You ready? You ready?
Round 4 underway. Our championship rounds. Both fighters have had their moments. This has been a back and forth battle. And now it really comes down to heart and determination. Who wants to leave with the belt? Who is willing to do anything to do so? Joe, we've made our way to the 4th round. In this championship fight, what do you look for now? The championship rounds show who put more time in, who put more focus, more dedication, more energy, more intensity in training camp, and who has executed their game plan better in the first 15 minutes of the fight.
Let's see what he can do from here.
Oh, he sweeps. Look at his position now. He's moved back to half guard. Ah, that's an outstanding transition. He's pounding him. Big right. That was a big right hand, Mike. Trying to take the back here.
There's a big left hand.
Wow! It is all over! Beautiful ground and pound KO.